Carb lovers, this is for you. Take heart. The much maligned objects of your appetite's affection are making their way back onto the menu, but not just any carbs. It is all about the slow release variety. Here to explain the slow carb movement, registered dietitian Kristyn Hall. Nice to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And I have to actually plead total ignorance here because I don't know what a slow carb is. So what does that mean?
Well, carbohydrate is our body and brain's preferred source of energy, and so not all carbohydrates are the same. So that gets into something called glycemic index. So glycemic index is a scale that ranks foods that contain carbohydrate based on how they affect your blood sugar.
Okay.
So if we look at high glycemic index, that causes a quick spike in your blood sugars, and then you get a quick release of your energy. So those are called fast carbs. That's high glycemic index. Slow carbs, or low glycemic index, causes a gradual and less drastic increase in your blood sugar. So you get that slow and sustained energy. And so it can help because it helps to manage your energy levels, can help manage your appetite, and so you're not eating as much, so it can help with weight management and glucose, blood sugar management, diabetes management. So lots of health benefits.
So lots of advantages to the slow carbs as opposed to the faster carbs.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we want to know what in our diet is a slow carb and what is not. So you brought in some examples.
I brought in some examples. So can you guess which one is the slower carbohydrate? We've got the rice cakes or the stone ground whole grain bread.
Okay, is that rice cake? Is that a brown rice cake or just a plain old rice cake?
Just a plain old rice cake.
Okay, well I would go with the bread only because it's whole grains.
Yeah, so you're right. And so many people would end up choosing these rice cakes because they think, oh, well, I can eat more. But what's going to happen is your energy, your blood sugars are going to spike, and then they're going to crash, and then sort of an hour or two later, you're going to be craving for more food. So it really doesn't provide that sustained energy. So this with maybe some hummus or some nut butter would be a great choice.
Okay, so sustain you through the day. And okay, next.
Next we have fettuccine or brown rice. Which one do you think is the slower carbohydrate choice?
I personally would always opt for the brown rice over something kind of more refined.
So, in fact, the fettuccine, as long as it's cooked al dente, is the slower carbohydrate choice.
Really?
So it's not necessarily intuitive, and so portion size does matter, but the al dente cooked fettuccine.
Okay, can you explain that? Because what happens when you cook it beyond al dente? Why does it become not a slow carb?
So then it just changes the profile of the starches within the pasta, and so because of that change in the profile, it does raise the glycemic index.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, now these are both protein energy bars?
Yeah, they're both energy bars, and so which one do you think is the slower carb choice?
I have no idea. No idea, because I don't know. So Cliff bars I'm familiar with. I don't know what those are. Solo bars.
So solo bars. So in fact, the solo bar is the slow carb choice. So it's got the kind of carbohydrate that is slowly released. So it'll provide you that sustained energy to help prevent that spike, crash, and crave cycle that people can go through. What's great about it is that it's gluten-free, it's high in fiber, high in protein, and it's made by a Canadian company, so that's something that we should all be really excited about.
Well, I know we don't have time to go through sort of all of your slow carb options, but I guess how do you know when you're going shopping and you kind of don't know the difference?
Well, that would point to the benefit of having a labeling program, which apparently is being considered here in Canada. If you're looking for more information about that, you can go to a site called gisymbol.com, and that will help you learn about what are the different sources. But we do know that vegetables, some of the fruits like apples, pears, and plums are lower in glycemic index. We also know barley and bulgur, those kinds of things are also lower in glycemic index.
Okay, super informative. Registered dietitian Kristyn Hall, thank you very much. Links to her information at breakfasttelevision.ca. Now, Craig Larkin's in for Jill Bellin this week. Jill's on vacation, and he's behind the scenes at The Lion King.